Well, hi. It's been 10 years since I started trying to do this, I think. I just wanted to say hi. It's been a journey. A lot has changed, clearly. Um, Number one example is over there, but we'll get to that. This has been really difficult for me to do. I'm just gonna come out the gate and fucking say that. Because this isn't easy for me. It's a lot of time I've been trying to figure some stuff out, and a lot of life has happened, and I would like to share that with you because the position I'm at in my life is completely changed. Completely changed. And I don't know how else to portray it more than this, I guess. Especially since I want to try to give this an actual shot. What do I mean by that? Since COVID, oh, whoop-de-doo, everybody's life was affected by COVID. Yeah, I know. It's a fucking overused statement at this point, in my opinion, but it did have a huge impact on people, especially my family. I lost my grandma during COVID to COVID. It was not easy. I'm still processing it now. Most of my family is, because she was the light in our darkness. She recently had a liver transplant from, I don't remember. I think her levels were just low, and I think she just needed a transplant. She'd been on the list for years. I don't know the logistics behind that, but I just know that she needed it. She got it, I think, 2019, 2020, beginning of it. Was living at home with us. My mom's a nurse, so she was taking care of her because my grandpa didn't know what to do. So her immune system was shot. Is the most I can really say about that, because transplant, new organ, needs body time to adjust. Speaking of that, I apologize for not wearing a shirt. I'm sidetracking. This is just this is a big thing. I'm trying to stay on subject, but that's not how I do things. Just for the simple fact of I'm autistic, and I'm still learning what everything goes in line with that, because I got a very late diagnosis in my life. I got diagnosed when I was 17, 18. I was the last one in my family to get diagnosed, actually. My half brother, I just call him my brother because he's technically speaking, he's my half brother, but that doesn't matter to me. He's my brother, the only brother I have. So I love him to death. I don't know my dad. Never have, never will. I don't even know if the name my mom gave me was real. That's how fucked that is. It's a different story. But this video. I really want it to be my story, my 10 years. It's not like I've been uploading for 10 years, but my first video upload was almost 10 years ago. It's January, I think, 2015, which is 4 or 5 months away now. Not even. And I might try and edit this video. I might not. I might just upload it. But this is me being me. This is how everything is. I might try to edit this. I don't know if I gotta figure out the ums, the ehs, to try to blank out that blank noise, But I want this video to be pride and true who I am. Like, I don't want it to be like one of those draw my life videos or anything like that, because I don't have that talent. But I don't know. I want to be emotional. I want to be open. I want to be non-traditionalistic masculinity, because people think of masculinity as this thing. I have an entire opinion about that, but I don't really care about right now. I want to be me. Me. And this is, I guess, a way I can do that. It's YouTube. Why don't you take the U and do the two part, you know? It was a very odd thing when I grew up. YouTube. It was there, but people were making money, but it wasn't well known. You know, Mr. Beast was still doing his counting live streams in his room at that point. You know, like it was. Look at him now. He has 300 something million subscribers. Is building homes in third world countries, making wells, doing great things. And I wish I could just work with that man and give my life to helping people. But even then, I don't even know what I want to do with myself anymore. It's been a journey. Yeah, I graduated high school and college at the same time in 2019. I should have my bachelor's by this point, but COVID and the world just made it not happen. Some people were able to persevere, and I'm happy for those people, and it makes me happy to see people that were able to continue going, but I couldn't. My grandma, and then I had to move back home, losing thousands and thousands of dollars from the privatized education and not giving it back to us. I maybe got like $3,000 out of the 30 I put into education during the COVID epidemic. I don't know how to describe how much pain that's caused me. I've took care of it. The debt's gone. It worked my ass off to get rid of it, so I could be in this position and not have debt when I got married. Because that's the thing, too. I got married last year. We just celebrated our first anniversary, actually, June 10th. And she has forever changed my life. If it's one thing I'm more grateful to in the entire world, it's my wife. Because she's my best friend. I never thought I'd meet her. That's a story in itself. I'm just tangenting on because I want this to be. I don't know what I want this to be. I really don't, and that's the problem. And I think that's the problem because I've tried scripting this. I've tried typing it out. I've thrown it away. I've tried recording and tossed that, deleted it. But I said, fuck it. Let's just do a one take, upload that, and do it. Because, like I said earlier, I was like, I might edit this, I might not. My brain is everywhere at this point. And that's what my brain does. It constantly cycles and thinks and analytically analyzes. And is this good? Is this a good path? Is this not a good path? Is this? I don't know. I've always been a plan person, and I don't have a plan. Not for this. Because I don't want this to make me famous. I don't have any pre-existing notations going into this. I want to do this for me. I want to make content that makes people laugh because I like making laugh. I don't know what I want this to do. I just want, I guess, use it as a journal a little bit. Like, it's probably going to just be random shit. And if there's a series that people like, I'm a people pleaser. I might continue doing it. I don't know. I really don't. I want to be open. I want to be honest. I want to be truthful. I want to laugh. I want to have fun. I want to do stuff for me. But if it's fun for other people, then yeah. I don't want to be the cliche, I got a podcast, I got this, all this other stuff. Like, look at me, I'm important. When we're all just people. We're all just people. And the world's crazy right now, and I don't even know how to describe that. From the 15 million historical events I'm going through, the entire, not just me, everyone. Like, our POTUS, like, this was 2 days ago, assassination attempt. But I don't want to fucking talk about politics. I might edit that out. I don't want to talk about that. But, like, I could talk about that if I wanted to. Like, who knows? Like, this is just my opinions and how I view things. Like, I want nothing. I'm gonna make that disclaimer now. And nothing I ever do on this channel is to offend anybody. We're here for laughs. We're here for good time, good vibes, and we're just gonna go with the flow and have a good time. That's what I want to have. That's what I want to have. And I might use this platform to play my backlog because that's another story. See, the thing is, I might just tell stories. This video ought to be a conglomeration of stories, and that's fine. I don't know. I just clicked record. I don't know. My brain is insane. I don't know how to process all of that, and it's just Oh man, I love people, but I also hate people. It's weird. I'm just tangenting at this point. Um, but so let me tell me a little bit more myself. 10 years ago, I was in high school. Surprising enough to say, maybe eighth grade at that point. Um, but let's not start there. Let's start here. I was born and raised not Illinois. I like to say Illinois because that's just the easiest answer. But I was born in Munster, Indiana. I was a bastard child. Like I said, I don't know my dad. Never met him. Never saw him. No nothing. My mom had me at 19. Like, she was in college. Got pregnant. Had me. Kept me. She could have easily got rid of me. Easily. I could not be here right now. And I'm grateful for her keeping me. But then that ties into my emotional trauma of earlier. My grandparents basically raised me for like the first 7 years of my life because of that. We lived in Munster for about 2 years, and then we moved to Joliet, Illinois. I know, the gracious place in the entire world known as Illinois. But hell, that's where I met my best friend. Still my best friend to this day. Met him in kindergarten. Joined Cub Scouts because of him. Got into video games because of him. Pokemon. Band because of other friends I met because of him. And then we're still friends now. Going through elementary school, I don't remember much. Because in fourth grade, my dad was working for IBEW, the electrical union that exists, and he got electrocuted. Went through his hand here, the palm, came out right here. He still has a massive dead tissue scar right here. And we thought he was going to die. Because my mom got married, I think, when I was four, I think. 2004. To my stepfather. But he's just my dad. I've just called him my dad. What other name does he need? He's been there since I can remember. No other father, maternal figure was there, so he is just my father. I don't care. And when he got electrocuted, he got laid off, which I think is bullshit. But the way is unions, right? So then he went around signing the books in New York, Texas, South Carolina, I think Montana, even one. But he found a home at SRS, the Savannah Riverside, Savannah or Aiken or whatever, South Carolina, Georgia, whatever. We moved down there, 5th grade. New life, left all my friends. Trust me, I had animosity. I did. I was autistic, didn't know how to process it, didn't know how to do anything. And I didn't know at the time. And I had a little brother around that time, I think right before we left. Yeah, because he was born in 08. He's exactly 7 years younger than me. We moved down to Aiken, South Carolina. And that's where I lived until recently. Did middle, high school, and college down there. I remember at the beginning of elementary school because everybody's been in the same elementary school from kindergarten or pre-K or 5K or whatever we want to call preschool or pre-education before elementary school. They've all known each other that entire time, and my only memory from that moving down there is like, hey, what college football team do you like? Do you like Georgia? Do you like Clemson? Do you like South Carolina? Do you like LSU? Do you like Alabama? And I was like, I don't know what any of that means because college football was not a thing in the North. I was like, yes, the Bears. That's all I knew. So I think I just chose Gamecocks because the bird looked cool. I don't know. That's just what I did at the time. And the rest of that middle school, and then because we lived in an apartment for the first 2 years we were down there, and then we moved out. And what was funny is that when I went to 5th grade, I went to middle school. I went to the middle school that everybody didn't go to. So maybe like 5 people went to that middle school that I went to. And then I did 6th grade there, band director loved me because I've been playing saxophone since 4th grade. Because of Illinois, because when I moved down, they didn't have music programs in elementary school until middle school in the South, where I was from at least. But we started in 4th grade in Joliet. So 5th grade, I was just kind of like a purgatory spot, or like I think purgatory is the right word for it. And don't mind my arm. It's the reason why I'm not wearing a shirt. I'm getting new ink work done. That's a whole story in itself. I'll wait for that later, but that explains the no shirt. Sorry for waiting 15 minutes into this to say something about it, but I'm itchy. It's gotten to the point where it's really itchy. It's like I put lotion on, I'm cleaning it. Just took second skin off like yesterday. But I had therapy today, and she was like, "You need to do something. You need to do it because you keep talking about doing it, and you didn't do it." And that's where we're at today. That's what this video is. I don't want to put a lot of work into this video because I want it to be interpersonal. I don't want a lot of editing. I don't want a lot of out of phases. I just want it to be you and me. That's it. We're sitting and talking. We're having a conversation. We're at a bar. We're having drinks. This is what this is. That's what I want it to be. Yeah, if you don't want to notice, there's puppies over here. Yep, they're my potty babies. Potty babies. You're my babies. I'm the stepdaddy of these puppies, and I love them. They are pretty. The burgundy, I forget what the name of this is. My wife will probably remember it. Brindle, that's what it is. I knew it started with a B. Brindle colored is Buster, and the orange one, or like I like to call it, little nugget, is Ollie. She's a pretty baby. They're my little nuggets. Burnt chicken nugget. Circling back to the story, but so then when we moved after 6th grade, I went to a completely new middle school. I had to meet completely new people again, and I think at that point it was concurrent. Like it was because then the 2 middle schools, because there was 3 middle schools in the area. It was Schofield, Kennedy, and LBC. No, Schofield, Kennedy, Lavelle, and LBC Middle. Because Aiken's huge and needs 4 middle schools. I think there's probably more. I think Silver Bluff Middle is the thing, too. But then after middle school, I did marching band in 8th grade, so I had affiliations with the high school already. But then I went to Midland Valley High School. Yeah, no, I don't know. My high school experience is weird because my high school is actually in the Guinness Book of World Records for the amount of threats it's received in 2 years. I think it was like 2017. It was 27 school threats in 2 years. Bomb and shooting threats. I do not know how many times total that I experienced threats. I remember the point where in high school, they shut down all the bathrooms, made one bathroom, painted it black because people were writing on the walls saying they're going to shoot up or bomb the school. Bro, high school was whack. Because, oh man, because it was like the beginning of like, oh, we're phasing in technology. So like my freshman year, it was, oh, hi, your AP Human Geography class and Geometry are now hybrid classes where everything's done on like Schoolology and stuff. It was the beginning of that. And then there was this engineering program we tried getting into that they had going on, and then no one made it in. But then they had another program. They're like, "Oh, this is our first time doing this one." It was like with the technical. It was with Aiken Technical College, and it was called Early College. Great program where they took freshmen and they did the Compass test. I think it's the test to get you into college if you don't have a high school diploma, or something like that. I don't remember. And see if you're equitable to do college-level classes. So we did that as freshmen. We were the first cohort to do it. I think there was like 15, 17 of us. And I made it in. I did it. I remember studying and working my ass off for that test. And then that summer, we started college. Because it was 2 classes every semester until senior year where it was 3. And it was kind of interwoven with high school, so it was a very big thing. So marching band was a big thing on my list, and then college, and then needless to say, sophomore year sucked shit because I was in like honors chem, honors pre-cal. I was in Spanish. I was in Spanish 1 honors. I was in all of these honor classes, and I was just like, choir, marching band, symphonic band, because marching band, symphonic band were kind of like one class. Um, shit. I was overwhelmed. I remember failing pre-cal first semester and destroyed because I was a straight A student at that point, and I was just overwhelmed because I think that year was the hardest year of my life. I think I withdrew out of Spanish because I was like, I only need 2 credits for it to matter. So, yeah, the only thing that I'm really like glossing over is a lot of the bad shit. We were all bullied in high school. I think everybody was bullied at some point in their life. I think, unless you are I don't know. Unless you're not, I don't know. Most of my friends have experienced a certain level of bullying, but I've experienced a pretty rough patch of it. Ever since elementary school, I was bullied. Never understood it. It was just everything. I don't know. It might have been part of my autism. I took everything seriously or something. Like, I don't know. But I know how to have banter with people, so I can't just label it as that. It goes, like, down to, like, telling me to go kill myself, or that I'm a whore, or that I'm just a little bitch, or just... I don't know. It was rough. High school was the worst of it, though, because, like, people love to accuse me of raping people, or being a whore, or just when I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do, what I wanted from people, because of trauma. When I was 7, I was raped by someone younger than me. I was in 2nd grade. He was in kindergarten, and it was in my closet. I don't care how detailed I get into this, but it's trauma, and I've lived with it. And like I said, I want to be open, like we're having drinks at a bar. They wanted me to play a girl, and yeah. So I didn't know what was right or wrong. I never told my parents. That's my fault for not telling anyone or anything like that. I didn't even know what I was doing. Because then when we moved down to South Carolina, I met some people from Illinois, and I was like, oh, look, friends. And then that friend group turned into one guy picking me out and sex trafficking me. All his friends used to call me his little bitch because I used to do sexual acts to him. And he used to take me around. His mom used to buy me things, take me down to the beach, and I used to just sexually satisfy him or do anything he wanted because I wanted a friend. And I didn't know if it was right or wrong, or I didn't know, but I didn't want to lose a friend. It was very emotionally manipulative, and I don't know. I didn't know. So when I got to high school and I started dating people or trying to experiment sexually or whatever it was just like, oh, he just wants sex. And I was like, I thought that was a normal thing. Because then you go to marching band, you see these seniors and juniors like, oh, they're fucking. You clearly know they're fucking. And it's just like, then you try to do it, and people try to turn it on to you and say they raped, and that I was trying to rape. I was like, no, that's not what I was doing. I was like, I always asked them, like, are you okay? Is this what you want? And if they told me no, I always said no, because that's not okay, because it's their choice. And I had a few people, like, there was this one girl in particular that accused me, and I remember one of my friends in marching band, he came to me, he was pissed at me, and I was like, dude, what's up? And he was like, she told me this, and I was like, that's not true. And it was terrible because she was consensual, and I remember having to go to my friend who was like the CFO or something in NJROTC to had like to talk to her because it was bad. Like, it was getting to the point to where I was getting bullied for people were like, I'm gonna fucking kill you because of what you did. But no, all we did was make out, and I think I did a little bit of that, and that was it. And she never said no, so that's why I was confused. And then came to junior year. That was my last year at the school, was junior year. I think sophomore year was my actual like first relationship, and then it didn't go well. And then it got to my junior year. Yeah, I was just trying to be, after that first real relationship I had with somebody that lasted longer than, like a month. I think it lasted like 6, maybe 8. And that ended very badly. And it was very toxic. And because I thought I was going to marry that girl, because I'm a very hopeless romantic, because I was like, wow, this is actually working, and this makes sense. And her bigger sister I was friends with her in marching band, and she was getting engaged, and I was like, oh, this is a great idea. I'm going to be finishing college. I want to start a life. I want a family. Build it up. I want to do it with somebody, And that didn't work out. And I just stayed single for a while. And at that point in school, I had random fucking freshmen walk up to me like, you're Michael, right? I'm like, yeah, who are you? And I'm like, oh, well, you're a fucking whore. And I'm like, thanks, person I don't know. Like, okay. There was this one girl in early college that made fun of me for it all the time. And I don't know, it was weird. And but no, I loved marching band, continued working with that, and I love my saxophone. I still have one, but I had to sell my Yamaha. I had a Yamaha. Named her Lola after the song and Agent Coulson's car. And I had to sell her at one point, which hurts, but it's okay. Man, here comes senior year. Now, junior year, end of junior year, I had... No, it was summer semester of college leading into my senior year. I reconnected with one of the old color guard members from high school. She graduated, but she was going to Aiken Tech. And at that point, we were taking more and more classes at college. Reconnected with her, really great. And she was helping out at a different high school, and I was telling her about my relationship problems, and she's like, oh, I might have someone perfect for you. And she set me up with one of her friends. And this girl and I snuck out. It was high school. Got Waffle House. Hung out, talked. Instantly connected. Instantly. Like, I was head over heels for this girl. She talked to me. She made me feel normal. She was fun, beautiful, all this other shit. At that time, that's how I thought. And it was good in the beginning, like most things are. And then I got to senior year. Now, I barely went to the high school for senior year. The only reason why I went for the fall semester was to the marching band. Once marching band ended, I quit. Because this girl, I was ditching classes like I never did before. I was going out of my way to... And add a little bit of context there, too. When I was with the girl previously, she had offered me to smoke marijuana. And I made a promise to my aunt where I was like, if I ever had a chance to do it, I would go to her so I could do it in a safe space. Because she's also a nurse, and it helps her with certain medical things, and she wanted me to be exposed in the right way. So I told my girlfriend at the time, my ex, that no. And I immediately called my aunt, and I smoked with her. Now, with this new girl, my other ex at this time, she was like, no, we can just go do it ourselves. So I was doing drug deals and going places I don't know, and I got really dependent on it during this relationship because it just brought out the worst in me. because arguments just started to happen. She got mad at me for gaming, and then if I didn't go out of my way to go see her or do something for her, it was the end of the world. And I quit marching band. I was just losing myself because of this girl who was trying to make me feel. She was essentially trying to mold me into something that she wasn't embarrassed of, because when I became comfortable around her, my tics and specific things coming out that I already masked before because of my mother and people telling me, oh, it's not okay to shake or say the words I say in public, and it caused a lot of anxiety and it caused a lot of problems, and so that didn't help either. And then it got to the point to where I was depressed in this relationship, but I didn't want to let it go. So I started doing what I did before. Because freshman year, my mom admitted me into a psychiatric place because I had really bad outbursts, because I was in therapy my entire life, and they always said, oh, he's a brat. He had anger problems. Oh, he's just not getting what he wants. Then no. But there was a lot more to it than that. But that's just all the therapist has told me my entire life, is that I was a brat. I was not getting what I want. I was a piece of shit. And so what happened with this girl is I was starting to push everybody away, and my mom was like, oh, you want to kill yourself again, don't you? Because I tried, I think, freshman year. Right before early college started is when I first got admitted. They didn't give me meds that time. I did an outpatient program so I could still go to college, because I was like, I'm not missing fucking college because my mom put me here. So when it happened again, I was inpatient this time, missed school, and everything. It was rough. And they gave me meds this time. My mom was like, fucking hallelujah. Jesus. And it was a psychiatrist after that, and I got a therapist that was appointed from the thing, and then kept doing that. Meds. We stayed together. And then it got to this point where my psychiatrist was like, we're going to get rid of this anti-anxietic and this antidepressant that you're on, because you have BPD, you have situational anxiety, you have I don't remember everything that she classified me as. And then she's like, oh, we're going to get rid of these two things and give you an antipsychotic. And she's like, walk on eggshells for 2 weeks while his brain chemistry adjusts. Now, my ex decided it was a great idea to go smoke and then get into an argument. Got into a fucking argument. She just pushed every single button, and it was like an on-off relationship, this relationship. I had to fight to keep her. And then she was like, nope, I'm done. And then we broke up again, and then drove home, smoked the rest of the weed, and sat there for a bit. And then something in me just fucking got pissed. I snapped. I don't even remember. I turned back, I called her mom, and I was like, I want my shit. If this is truly over, I want my stuff. Because at that point, I started building her a computer, bought her a PlayStation, bought her a TV, had my clothes over there, and I was just like, I just want that stuff back. And I went over to her house, and I was just like, I want it. Like, I'm pissed, and then her mom got the gun, pointed it at my head, and then my ex was like, I don't want to hold it, I want to point it at him, and I was just like, Jesus. And I got mad, and I threw my phone. I called my mom, was trying to calm me down, and threw my phone, and I kneed their door one time. A little beknownst to me that they called the police. Now, at that time in the state of South Carolina, 17-year-olds could be prosecuted as adults. So I went to jail that night for trespassing and destruction of property. Because apparently I broke their door by kneeing it one time. And I don't even remember most of that. Because when it got to the point where I got so angry, I blacked out. Because my anger got to the point to where I just blacked out. And when I got to the jail, it was just like I freaked out. I just slept. I just had a panic attack. I freaked the fuck out. I didn't understand what was going on. And the cop had to explain to me what was going on. And then when I got out, my mom didn't even sign me out. My aunt did. And I saw the video of what I did, and I just, God. Now, any logical person watching this or just in general would be like, you guys were done, right? No, we weren't. Because I thought I was in love with this woman. I really did. And she didn't get the charges dropped or at all. I had to go to court, had to get a lawyer. Because her mom was adamant about it. And then it's just, fuck, I'm sorry, this is hard. But then it just kept going on, and I didn't go to school at that point. It was just college, and so no one even knew I was out. And I didn't go to the graduation, like where they give you all like the stoles and stuff. I didn't go to that. And then apparently everybody just told me they were just laughing every time they called my name out. And we graduated with Aiken Tech first. We walked with them. And that was good. I enjoyed that one. But when it came to our high school graduation, everybody just was like, what are you doing here? And I just didn't even want to be there. I didn't even want to be there. I didn't even want to be at my own high school graduation. No one talked to me. No one did anything. No one reached out. Nothing. The only person that was there was my best friend, Andrew, who was by my side through everything. So I left my high school graduation as fast as I could because my grandma and I were going on a trip. We were doing Route 66. We were planning it for so long. And that was one of the best trips I ever did in my life. That trip was so much fun. So much fun. And my ex was fighting me the entire time I was on it because I was on my phone talking to her because she's like, oh, you need to talk to me. You need to talk to me. You need to talk to me. And I was starting to think she was cheating on me at that time, but I didn't want to believe it. And she literally broke up with me on the trip. On the trip. It was in Denver when we were coming back because we made it all the way to L.A. We were fighting the entire way there over fucking text message. And we drove up to PCH to get to San Fran, but we didn't even do that because we got lost. We ended up in the mountains and still made it to San Fran. And then drove straight back east to Chicago, where my grandma is. Bought her so much shit on that trip with all the money that I saved. Got back, saw her, was giving her all the stuff. And then we were hanging out at my house since her mother hated my existence. And my mother tolerated that I was still with this girl. And at that point, I finally was playing God of War 2018 for the first time. Because I finally had a PlayStation of my own, because my dad bought it for me for his PlayStation. Because I was showing him the rad Brad playing The Last of Us. And he was like, why the fuck aren't you playing? I was like, Dad, I don't have a PlayStation. I can't play this game. And for Christmas, he bought himself a PS4 Pro and bought me The Last of Us and got drunk and watched me play. He eventually has played it more than I have, but we're circling away from the story. Then the reason why this story is so important is because it's a big part of who I am right now. After this changed me. I'm not done yet, but I'm putting emphasis on it. So, I was playing God of War. I finally made it to Sirgun. And I swear it took me weeks. Because I didn't want to look anything up. I wanted to do it myself. It took me weeks to beat her. And we were hanging out at my house, and I think we were watching Stranger Things. And I wanted to take a break, and I wanted to play some God of War. And she was like, I'm here. You want to spend time with me? You'd rather be on your game? I was like, I invited you over to come over and sit with me. I was like, I told you how invested I was because I didn't get to see her that much. So I was like, look, you want to see what I'm doing, what I'm interested in? And then we got into another argument. And she was wearing rings that I bought her when I was on the trip. And I was just like, just give those back. I don't know why. I was just like, at that point, I was like, I want this to be done. And at this point, I was in PTI for trying to get my charges expunged. So when I try to get them back, she fucking slaps me. And then I try to get them off, and then she fucking hits me again, and then I break. I fucking should never hit a woman, but it's one of the only times I did. Like I said, this brought out the worst of me, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not. That's why I'm telling this story. To show. And I'll tell you when this happened right after. And I was 18. No, I was about to turn 18. This was July. And she walked out of the house because my mom got involved. And she fucking called her parents, and her parents called the cops, and the cops charged me with assault. Assault. I was flabbergasted because like she hit me first. Does that not matter? Like, no. But either way, it doesn't matter. I shouldn't have done it anyway, and she didn't even give me the shit back either. I'm thinking about it now. And later the next week, I got kicked out of PTI because I got another charge. And we were still together after this. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. So since I was kicked out of PTI, my criminal charges went from being taken care of because like I think I don't remember how this lady explained it to me. It was because I was in PTI, they were no longer pending because they were getting taken care of. But since I got kicked out, they went from like taken care of or like currently like getting taken care of to them pending again. And I was trying to go to school, and Discover was like, hey, we can't give you loans because you have pending criminal charges. And I was like, all right. I lost all my scholarships because I wasn't able to start in the fall. I lost my marching band position in USC after auditioning for it. And my whole world crumbled. And I was still with this girl. So then, because that was July, yeah. So fast forward to August. Tensions are high. We're sneaking around to see each other. I don't even know why. And flash forward to my birthday. I was working at Bonefish at the time. I was working 2 jobs. I was working at Bonefish and Walmart. And because my mom started charging me rent to stay at home. Because she's like, if you're not going to school, then you're not living here for free. Which is understandable. So then her mom found out that we were together, and she broke up with me right there and then. She's like, I can't do this anymore. It was a Saturday. Fast forward to Monday. The guy I think she's cheating on me with fucking wrote on her car, was like, you be mine or something like that. And then she was, oh, I'll get together with him. She got together with him. After saying the day she broke up with me, oh, you're still the love of my life, everything. That shit hurt. And that was... I didn't talk to her for, I think, at least a month at that point. I was focusing on myself. I was drinking irresponsibly. I was just out of control. I was just not okay. And then she messages me exactly a month later. September 25th. I was blackout drunk at a friend's house. I remember. I don't know how I remember, but I remember her texting me that, and then the next day waking up and reading most of it. And while I was blackout drunk, we agreed to be friends. Fuck. And I went with it. At that point, I was 18, and I wanted to serve, because my grandma was a waitress for 30, 40 years, the same place in Glenwood Oaks in Illinois. And I was always with food, always in restaurants, always with this. That was my first job when I was 15. I was in the back of a kitchen as a dishwasher, and then I worked my way up to that, and then was hosting at a pizza place until the end of high school, and then I was at Bonefish, and then I became a server at Pizza Joint, a pizza place in our area. And we were friends, and it was all right, I guess. It turned into friends with benefits, and that didn't end well. Because then she eventually told me that she was pregnant. And it was mine, because she hadn't had a period since June. And that's when I got back from Route 66 trip, and I'm guessing we fucked a lot, and I guess something happened, and then she just didn't pay attention until September, past the first trimester, October-ish area. And she was like, I want to get an abortion. And I was just like, no. To my morals and my ethics, I didn't think a abortion past the first trimester was okay when it was mine. When it comes to other people, the situation might be different, and that's not my choice. But this was my child. And I was like, I don't want you to get aborted. I'm like, you're past the first trimester. I will take care of it. I don't care. I just didn't, my heart sank, and I just didn't want that option. Because if it really was mine, then I was just like, I can't. So, with that, engaged a lot of emotional manipulation because I just didn't want it. I didn't want her to do it. And I don't even remember how it even got to this. And she was just like, I need money or something, and got money out of me, and then she said she was just going to use it for pills. I'm sorry. And at that point, I was the last. As soon as I sent her the money, that was it. That's the last I heard of her. So then I just went into full work mode to numb myself. So I didn't have to fucking think about that. And then I was working so much. I had so much money because I just wanted to save, and I was finally buying stuff for me, and because I had my mom off my back. And so then one week I was working 5 doubles back to back. Open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. And the third double, in the middle of my shift, she sent me dead pictures of my daughter. Pictures of my dead daughter. Because the hospital labeled it as a miscarriage. So they tried to resuscitate the baby. They put the little hat on her, put the little gloves. She was born premature. And it broke me. It still hurts, but it broke me. And the manager let me leave because I just couldn't stop crying. I worked the next 2 doubles just to numb myself. And I came back to work and I had no shifts except for one day that week. Because they were like, oh, we can't pay you overtime. Yes, my barely $7 an hour. So I just tried to go see Andrew as much as possible, and I just didn't want to get out of bed, and I didn't tell my mom what happened, and I was off the meds, and then I went to go get gas before going to my friend's house, and I just couldn't stop shaking and just crying. And at that point in my life, I had only experienced emotional blackouts from anger. And I blacked out from grief and sadness. But what was fucked about this one is that I could see. I just couldn't stop it. I did fucking something stupid, and I still regret my actions to this day because it wasn't okay. It wasn't okay, but There is no but. It wasn't okay, and I deserved the punishment that I got from it. Because her excuse was that it might not even be yours, because she was cheating on me, and I knew who she was, but she's like, I would never do it, I'll never act upon it, but she acted upon it because of weed, because weed makes her horny. So I didn't, but even then it didn't matter, because it was a child that I thought was mine, and I loved it, and the pictures didn't help, and I just broke down and fucked up and fucking slashed 2 of her tires and keyed horror into the side of her car. And I went to jail for that. And I think that was when I woke up. The second time, and the most traumatizing jail experience I had, because the first time I just slept. I slept and just slept and slept. I didn't interact. But this time I was in there for a little longer, and my best friend's dad dropped me off. Andrew's dad dropped me off, and my mom couldn't even fucking say words to me. Because I was 18 at the time, and South Carolina changed the law 3 months after it happened to me to... Because I got charged with assault, they just gave it to my mom instead of taking me in. So I was 18, so I turned myself in and then signed myself out after 3 days. Was it 3 days? I don't even remember. The only thing I remember is that somebody got caught that night with something up his ass. It was cocaine. They didn't get all of it, and I was taking a shit. And some guy pulled cocaine out of his ass, and they snorted a line on the Holy Bible while I was pooping. And I just didn't. It felt like I was in a movie. I didn't know how to feel. But at that point, I was just... I haven't talked to her since that day. Since that day. I managed to get my things turned around and work enough to pay off restitution, pay off the tickets, and was able to luckily start in the spring at USC. I was still able to go to school. I was able to change my start semester and started in the spring of 2020. I finally escaped my terrible mistakes. I finally escaped this woman. I could finally start working on myself, and then the world collapsed around me. Had to move back home. Had to change majors because I couldn't keep going to school hybrid, and I was struggling, and then my grandma passed away, and then I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. I just kept going, and life at home was hard. I didn't have a door. There were animals in the house killing my nose and my allergies, and so I stopped serving at pizza joint, and I got a job at this Italian fine dining restaurant on the Savannah River in Augusta. And that job changed my life. It changed my life. It gave me money, confidence, figured out who I was, met an amazing human being named Michael Toomey. And he's like the father I never had. Well, I had a father, but let me rephrase that. He's like, I'm like the son he never had, and he's like the father I never had, but there's completely different worlds. He was like a father figure to me. Another one. Because my father's and I relationship was not okay at that point in my life. And I just kept working at it and kept working, got better, got good at wine, got good at specials, got good at selling, got great at my job, and I found a home, and I tried going to school while doing it, and that was during COVID. Every place was understaffed, and there's only 3 servers in this place, and worked 6 day weeks for 8 months. 8 months straight. 6 day weeks. And school fell off, but I was happy with work. I focused on myself. I did therapy. I was trying to figure myself out. I got my diagnosis. I got all these things to try to help me push myself in the direction I thought I was going to. And then I had to withdraw out of school because I couldn't handle working these 6 day work nights and going to school at the same time. I just couldn't do it. And paying that much money. So I just focused on work, and then I got into a car accident, and it wasn't good. I wasn't physically hurt, but my car was inoperable for at least 3 months because there was a car part shortage in our area. Happened the day before, the Monday of Thanksgiving week, because we finally got a week off. It was my grandpa's birthday. I was like, let's go out for breakfast, and I hit a manhole that was like this. I thought it was just something that a truck in front of me dropped, but I didn't even notice what it was, and it almost flipped my car and punctured the gas tank, killed the exhaust. And they're like, we're not even going to be able to look at your car until January. And I was like, I need to work. And we had to backdate insurance because the insurance didn't even have the rental car stuff on there, and it was fucked. Dealt with that, and finally got my car back in like February, and then I was like, I just need my best friend. And his mom gave me an offer to like, do you want to just come live up here? Because I couldn't move back home because they transferred my room immediately and changed it. So I had no room for failure because I couldn't move back home. So my best friend and his mom offered me a place to stay in Illinois. Change of scenery. So I did that. I left because I was living by my own, and just left everything. I left everything, and I moved to Illinois, back to my hometown, Joliet. Moved in with my best friend. And from that moment, the first day I moved in was the day I met my wife. I met her through a Discord server that a couple of my friends have from the Joliet area. My friend Zach invited me to, and she was kind of like a server moderator. I joined. She was like, whom the fuck are you? And met her that way. Did a couple like, one of those like online games. Played a little bit together and talked, but didn't really know each other. And then met her physically the first day I was there, and instantly clicked. Instantly. Like Jurassic Park, D&D, music, movies, video games, everything. And we were just friends for a while. I just focused on that because I was like, I did not move 880 miles to get back into a fucking relationship. So then I just worked, had this amazing opportunity to open a chop house in downtown Joliet, did that, got fucked over, She was the one that convinced me to quit. And I just knew. We started dating, and I just, because we both weren't looking anything. Her grandfather just passed away. She was in an ROTC program with school, so she was like, I don't want to get into a relationship if it's not serious. And I was like, I'm not getting into a relationship again just for the fuck of it. And it just kind of went from there. And we fell madly, madly in love with each other because we just loved each other as friends first, and then everything else was just secondary. And I brought her back home to meet my parents, and I hired a photographer, and I proposed. Less than a year into our relationship, but I was like, I don't care. I don't. And she said yes. Spent the next year planning the wedding, getting everything figured out, with military stuff for her too, and she commissioned as an officer, was the physicist, 01. And I planned most of the wedding, working my ass off of these serving jobs I could find. I worked at a mansion for a short period of time. I worked at a Cooper's Hawk winery, learned more about wine, and made a lot of money. Had a phenomenal wedding. Phenomenal wedding. Phenomenal. I could go more and more detail about this, but that's where I'm at now. And it's been 5 years since everything with my ex happened. 5 years. 5. Almost 6. I've moved on. I'm a different person. I'm being the me I want to be. The true me. And being a military spouse and opening a completely different set of eyes for me. And we've been in Albuquerque for almost a year now, and I'm still trying to figure everything out. It's an adjustment. I've done spouse classes. I've volunteered on base. I've tried to get knit in my new community I'm trying to be a part of, but I'm also just trying to live for me again and figure myself out, because I wasn't expecting to meet the love of my life and get married and move immediately. But life's a journey. You just got to ride the wave or you'll drown. You just got to go with the flow. Do not be sorry. Be better. My friend got me that tattoo right after everything with my ex was finished. It's from God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. Full circle. Its story touches my soul, especially with my father. But I refuse to say sorry for things that are not my fault anymore, or for just being me. I just want to be better. Been working at being the best husband I can be and being the best support system I can for my wife, because this is not easy. But I want to take the opportunity I'm given to help people, help myself, and do things that I want to do. And I want to try YouTube and build a community and be more social and maybe reconnect with people and meet people with mutual understanding and figure this life out, man. Like, I love video games, and my Steam library is filled with stuff that I haven't even touched, because what I love to do with my extra money in high school was buy video games from watching videos like Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, Tobuscus, Vanoss. I'm like, oh, I want to play that. That'd be great. So I buy it and never play it. I want to play my backlog. I want to get better at things. I'm thinking about my childhood, unblocking things that I blocked off and trying to figure out. That was the big thing with living back in Illinois, was I had so much animosity from when we moved. I just blocked everything out, and I was just angry, and I just trying to figure myself out and just figure me out. And it's been a journey, and I want to continue this journey, but have a visual representation for it. And if I meet people along the way and this gains traction, then I'm glad you guys are here with me. Yeah. This has not been easy for me to sit in front of this camera and talk to you guys like this. But I'm probably going to watch this back. If I choose to edit it, you'll see. If not, then this will be my pin video on my page. And I hope this shows who I am, and then maybe I can do a better rendition of this video later on if this was too much and too scratch. But I wanted it to be personal, informal, and just us. If anybody watches this, anybody in depth watches this. But maybe this can turn into something. Maybe it can't. Who knows? But all that I know is that I wanted to get my story out regardless. And there's a lot more in there, and I don't even know if I did it right, but I didn't want to script it. I tried, and I just didn't think it'd be right. I struggled over this video idea or even doing this for weeks. But my therapist was like, you need to fucking do something. You can't just keep thinking about it. So I just gave up, and I was like, well, I'm going to do it without a shirt. Okay. Because it's healing, and it needs to heal. But it's been real. Thank you for listening. If you listened at all, I appreciate it. Hopefully I can do more of these videos, and we can see where we go with this, because I want to play games. I want to do cooking maybe. I want to do all this different kind of stuff on this platform and just be me. And hopefully we can grow together and see what happens. But thank you. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate you guys being here. And if you made it this far, and I hope to see more of y'all and more of me soon. So thank you. Thank you so much.